Alright guys, just a couple of updates here. You see this big female? You guys remember she had a tail real long, like this girl over here. Except from day one when I bought her, it was all torn like really far back, like an inch and a half, like 5, 6 times. And it would never heal. It was always all red, bothering her. Then it would try to heal up, and I guess it was so bad, maybe when they netted her when I first bought her, I don't know. It was always red. Then she got a little bit of fin and tail rot on the end. I gave her antibiotics. It went away, but it was still red. It almost looked like it was like bleeding or something because it kept tearing all the time, like when it tried to heal. So I said, you know what? Let me take her out and try to trim it. And this way it'll be solid again without any tears in it, and it'll just grow. So that's what I did. And how I did it, I got a bucket of her tank water, like maybe 3 inches deep. And I put some clove oil in there. And let her stay in it until I seen her starting to like float to the side, like lose control. Because you don't want to let it die in there. I didn't put a lot. So as soon as I seen her off balance and I put my hand in the bucket and I could move her around without her jumping around and stuff, I took her out and put her on a wet towel. Then I had a real sharp scissors that I used to cut like the umbilical cords on my boxer puppies when I had them. It's really sharp. And I just trimmed it the best I could. And actually it looks pretty natural looking. It looks kind of like the Sanki's tail, but longer. So now it's not torn anymore, which is nice, so it could grow back. And to tell you the truth, even if it stood like it is right now, it looks nice. But if you notice, because their tails were so big, like and long and heavy, the top bone doesn't like hold up. See how the Sanki's is? Let me show you. Or anyone else. How it goes real high up in the back. And then you can see this one, how it just droops down because it's so big. That's how hers is. Let me get her in the frame. You can see it don't go up like the other fish, but it's kind of bent down. I guess the weight of the tail over time does that. But I can't believe how good it came. It actually looks like the fish is happy I did it. As soon as I put her back in, it was like, oh, relief. She wasn't like dragging it around all like blood in it, like it was red. It just looks so much better now. But anyway, it worked out nice for her. I'll just let it grow. It's healed up, and it healed up in like a day or so. I had antibiotics. I didn't have her in this tank. I had her in a 10-gallon hospital tank. And I just put antibiotics for I think 4 days, and it looked healed up. So I just put her back in here. She's been in here for like 3 or 4 days now. So that was good. No more shredded tail. Like when I mean shredded, go look at my old videos. It's torn like 4 or 5 times. Like really long, and it just kept looking red, and like even the fin wasn't even clear anymore. Like white, there it is on the top. On the bottom it was white too. Like near the end, and it was always like solid red looking like blood. So this is good. Alright, some other updates. In this tank, let me see, I gotta adjust this first. Wrong way. That should be good. Alright. In this tank, it's the 40 breeder. I took out of the 125 some of the fish that I liked that had good markings and straight tails and all that good stuff. No deformities. And I put them here in this tank so they would get a little more room for there only being like 10 in here. And also I could feed them better. So that's what I did in here. There's some nice ones with all black and orange on them, like you can see this one here. Gonna be nice. Alright, then let me move this chair out of the way and check how this is right here. Of course it's too high. That's good. Actually, I could go lower. Alright, as you notice, let me get back. There's not as many fish in it as before. And it's not because, you remember, they all had the flukes. It's not because of that, because this tank I didn't lose one. I've been going through them and culling them, all the ones that had like deformities. And it's hard to see, sometimes they would look bent from the side view, like a Z almost in shape. But what I did was I shut the filters off and looked down from the top for probably a good hour and kept getting the ones out that if you look at them. And actually, the funniest thing, when they swim, when they have like a kink or a little bend for the tail in their spine, you could tell they don't have like, when it's straight, they just twitch their tail like a little bit and they shoot forward. It looks like when they have that kink, their tail's whipping back and forth like a bunch. So kind of that's a giveaway, but it's better when you look from the top. You see them real good. So like I said, I spent a while looking from the top. I must have got out about maybe 50 of them that had some deformities. So I guess all goldfish get them because they've been breeding them for so long. So I don't know how many are in here now, but I'm telling you, it's a lot less. Some of them have some nice markings on them. I'm just going to let them grow out, and if I see any more deformities, because as they grow, they just develop them if they're going to get them. And then I'll remove them too, narrow it down. And that was this tank. And then this other tank here, let me bring you to it. Let me adjust this first. This tank here was the 75, and it's the one that had the flukes that I noticed fish like just getting weak and dying. As soon as I put the Praziquental in there, within a day, I haven't lost any more, so that was good. And it's funny, you saw the fish and they look like their fins got like, I wouldn't say clamped, but they didn't keep them out high. And they just looked like all whitish looking, their fins, like thickened. So I took a couple of them out, put them on my microscope slide, and sure enough, I saw flukes moving all on their bodies and fins. So that was good that I was able to medicate it and treat it and stop it from killing them all. But just like the other tank, I went from a side view in here and took out any of them that looked bent spines or with any kind of deformities, like their fin was like not right, like some of them looked like the fins didn't even go up, they always stood down like they had a bend in them. So all them ones I took out, and I also did the top view like I did on the other fish tank. You look out from the top, you open the lid, you gotta shut the filters off so the water on the top ain't like turbulent, so you can see clearly. And it takes like an hour. You just gotta sit there and keep looking and, you know, look for the spine bent towards the tail. And this tank too, since they died from the worms, the flukes, probably between that, I would say a third of them died before I could figure it out. Plus, I probably took out probably 30 or 40 of them that were deformed with the bent tails and stuff. So if you're looking at it now, I guess it's not that bad. There's still a lot in here. Actually, it looks like there's more in here than in the 125, but I guess that's because this tank's smaller and they look more compressed together. But like I said, now it looks like there's only like good ones in there, but like in a couple weeks as they're growing they could develop deformities if they got that genetic defect. So we'll see. Little by little you gotta weed them out. You don't want fish that are like deformed. But it's funny, I always keep saying in this tank they're not as colorful as the other ones in the other tank. I don't know why, and they're all from her. And she looks like a freaking beauty. I don't understand. I guess genetics didn't work out with the Sanki Gold. Unless, like I said in the past, maybe it'll develop color later. I don't know. But as of right now, you could see them. I mean, there's a couple in there that look okay with black on them and some orange. But for the most part, they don't really look colorful. But that's how it goes when you breed them, I guess. So that's the update, guys. A lot of culling, cropping of a tail for the better. And yeah, the worms we had here, the flukes, wasn't good, but it looks good now. So I'm just gonna keep feeding them, growing them out, and weeding out the ones with deformities and picking the ones that I want to keep. And then whatever I decide I'm not going to keep, I'll just give to the guy that bought some already at the local pet store. Look at that one. Of course, the ISO is way off. Had her on the top, but look. It's yellow now with all black on the tail and head. Some nice ones in here. And it's funny, some of the ones like this one don't look that hot looking because the black could fade like during the night when you shut the lights off, and then when you turn them on in an hour it could be real dark. But there's some nice ones in here. This one I really like. If you would turn to a lot of black, like a purpley color with the orange. But there's some nice ones in here too. I just haven't gone through them, and of course I'm blinding yous. Now I'm even blinding you more. God, it's going the wrong way. What am I doing? Slipping in my camera skills in my old age. There we go. Alright. Yeah, like I said, there's some nice ones in here, but I haven't pulled them out yet. I'll have to wait and see. I'll just let them grow and color up and I'll go from there. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Just wanted to update you, show you what's going on. It could have been a lot worse with those flukes, but I got it under control. Cut the numbers down like I told you with deformities. And now just time to grow them out a little more and see what happens. Okay, guys, later.